Hello, this is Craig Cockrell, the Albuquerque District Superintendent, coming at you with number 2 in the Albuquerque District newsletters, video newsletters. It is already into September, and I've already had my first charge conference, and I'm excited, if that's the word. I think it is, to come out to all the rest of the churches. 50 something churches. I don't know actually how many charge conferences I'm doing. I've got a list somewhere, but I know I have to be somewhere at some time in lots of different places. But I'm excited about it. So that's coming up. I wrote myself a note here that says to remind everyone to have your forms all filled out, and especially to have the signatures on them that should be on them. I am told by people to whom that matters a lot that that's important. I have to provide some of those signatures, so they get after me. Anyway, I look forward to those times together, not so much for the forms and the signatures, although there really is important information that needs to happen with those. I'm more excited about the conversations we're going to have. I've had a couple of those conversations already, and I have this set of questions that I think in my head that I'm going to ask, and I usually get all the way through the first question, and then it's an hour later and we have to end. So I look forward to having those discussions and conversations and finding out what excites you about ministry in your place and how you are pouring yourself out into the community, how you are connecting out there. We can't expect people to come to us anymore. There are some churches that still have visitors, and I'm thrilled for them, but even that doesn't mean that you're reaching people. We have to take our congregations, our ministries, our people, the church, out into the community. So I'm excited to hear how you're doing that and to discuss creative ways that we might experiment with doing some more of that. So that's my note on charge conferences. Other things coming up. As you may or may not know, we voted at annual conference to encourage McCurdy schools, McCurdy ministries, to go ahead with this master plan that they have to renovate all of their facilities and to begin to turn that into exactly what I was saying a minute ago, a community center, a place where the ministries and the community join together and combine, and Christ is able to reach lives through that effort. And so there are some clergy and spouse events. Let me see if that all shows up. You should have received this letter, and there's times and places, and I will be at the ones in Albuquerque. The other DSs will be there. The bishop's even going to be at the one here in Albuquerque proper. So I look forward to seeing all the clergy and the spouses there. I hope that you'll make this real effort. It's for us in Albuquerque, it's our institution. It's the only church institution been going on since 1912 that we have within our bounds. And I hope that the Albuquerque district churches, all the way from Utah and Arizona to Albuquerque, will feel that we own that place. At least we're part owners with Christ in that. So other things coming up. Let's see. You may have received this letter, this notification about sexual ethics training. Let me pull back there a little bit. I hope you did. Along with it, a nice letter from the bishop encouraging all of the pastors to enroll and take this sexual ethics training. I just did it today. Allow yourself at least a couple of hours. This is something we really need to take seriously, not just because of what's going on in the world, but because children are so precious to us that we need to do everything we can to ensure their protection and their safety. Children, vulnerable adults, any kind of sexual misconduct. We need to take that seriously and do all we can to educate ourselves and change the way we see our world and our relationships so that isn't something that will happen to any of us. So that's going on there. The bishop kindly did not put a deadline, I don't think, in his letter to us. But I'll be asking at the consultations after the first of the year, so try to get it done as soon as you can. I know it's a busy season, but don't wait till Advent to get it done. So there's that. Here is, I get this paperwork every month telling me how we're doing in terms of our shared ministries and our extra mile giving, and there's just lots of information in here. It really plots it out for me, and it lets me know which churches are being able to really do well and which churches are struggling. And so I'll try to be in touch with some of those churches that are struggling and see if I can't in some way encourage you, some way be helpful to you. Our connection, however powerful or tentative it may be, our connection is what makes us United Methodists. Our connected ministries enable us to do things we just couldn't do on our own. So there's that. There's all that information I have. It comes in a secret sealed envelope that is marked for your eyes only. No, anybody can see this stuff if they want to. So if you don't know how your church is doing, you should. And if you need that information, call Griselda in the conference office, and she'll be glad to give that to you. But I encourage you to do what you can. Okay, here's another interesting ministry that crossed my desk. I get a lot of mail that I didn't know was going to be coming my way. But here's an interesting piece called, it's called an Equip Conference for Senior Ministries. I assume it doesn't mean high school seniors. I assume it means people of a certain age, which I may well be in that spot. I don't really know exactly when that certain age is. But it's going to be at University Park Methodist Church in Dallas, Texas in January, at the end of January. And if you're interested, I have this here in my office. Seniors Ministries, a fastest growing sector in the church, I think, are active seniors. They're people who came into the church, maybe got involved in families and business and making their way in the world, and now they're in a place where they want to devote themselves to something. And they will devote themselves to something. If the church offers them that place to devote themselves, then we will be so much the better. So I encourage you, if you want to know more about this, drop me an email and I will send you that information, or you can just stop this video and get all that information off of there. So, okay, another thing that I love, I don't know if you all do, but I love Sacramento. I did not grow up going to there like so many did, but I grew to love it as I was a camp counselor. That was really some of my first experiences there, as being a counselor in camp and dean in camp, and then some of the programs that they offered in other arenas. I went to a couple of UMW retreats because they said I was a member, and I hope to get down there for other things. But they are doing, as you know, they're doing a big program to try to give a facelift to the camp and make them more productive and more able to meet the needs of larger camps. And Bill's working down there, and we all know that we have not had a finer family in charge of Sacramento than they have been. We have not had a finer director. So I love Sacramento, and I hope that you will do what you can to help. If you don't know about this, call Bill down there. He will be glad to come and speak at your church, or someone will, and they will be glad to talk to you about camp opportunities as well as this way you can support the camp. Plus, I made myself this little note. Fall Clergy Retreat, October 1st through 3rd. The speaker is W. Craig Gilliam, and it's just, we are so isolated, and we run a risk when we fail to connect ourselves with one another. And as clergy, it's just so important that we do that. We have a breakfast here in Albuquerque that John Nash got started, and they meet every Thursday, and I've made it exactly one time, but I hope to get there more often. We just need to connect. So I hope you've signed up for the clergy retreat, the fall clergy retreat, and I hope that I will see you there. It is just a lovely place and a lovely time. So be a part of that. All right. I'm sure there were other things I need to talk about. There always are, but I don't want to go on forever. Um, this is, I want to share with you something from a book called Honey Blue by my friend Larry Castillo Wilson. It's a collection of his poetry, and there's a poem called Tender Hands. I just want to share with you by way of closing. The soft, subtle hands of God bring forth creative good from suffering's anguished womb. Ask not the fruitless question of why, ask rather the fruitful question of how. Contractions of life can dilate the spirit. Feel the motion of the hands, the grace, the skill, the love. Move with movement. Infuse your feet, your hands, your eyes, your tongue, your heart, your mind with softness and subtlety. Bring to life reassuring calm out of whirlwind emotion, resurrected meaning out of crucified hope, honest healing out of paralyzing pain, unsuspected courage out of raw despair, renewed faith out of bitter doubt. Fear not the torment of pain. In the hands is tenderness. In the womb is perfection. The soft, subtle hands of God bring forth creative good from suffering's anguished womb. See the vision of growth. Hope the triumph of love. Help the creation of good. Above all, live the dexterity of the hands. So may the Holy Spirit be at work in your lives and in your ministries. When you feel alone and lonely, know that you are connected. We are connected as people of faith, and we have a big God who is always there. So blessings to you all. Pray for me as I begin church conference season. I know in my head that this is going to be a lot of fun, but honestly, in my belly, it's a bunch of knots. I just know that I'm going to fail to have lots of answers. So I'm practicing saying, I don't know, but I'll find out and I'll get back to you. So when you ask me my name, I'm likely to say, I don't know. I'll check on that. I'll do some research. I'll get back to you. Blessings.